What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. It is time once again for the Wrestling Wire. We are bringing you a recap of everything that's going on, both recently, a little bit in the past, kind of ad-lib some things. I've got a guest. I'm waiting on him to show up. Being joined by a fellow administrator from here at TRWC. I'm being joined by Mr. C.M. Walsh. But, man, we could be talking about what's that show? That big show just happened last night. Oh my goodness! You know what? It was called Halloween Havoc, and it was awesome. I saw a bunch of reports come out online. You know how that goes. So many people are like, "Oh, the ladder match was the greatest thing," and who cares about the rest of it? No, not really. There's a lot of good stuff that came out of that show. You got Mandy Rose still champ. That completely blew my mind. I figured for sure they were going to have Alba take that. Unless they're building somebody else up and we can't tell what it is yet. That's it. The only other person I got to think about last night, I'd like to see Ivy Nile in that. I really would like to see her in the chase for that. I think that'd be a good spot for her. Man, let's see here. Well, we already got comments. What are the comments saying? What is this? That ladder match was fire. It was okay, Gav. I'll go with it. It was pretty good. So the thing that kind of gets on my nerves is you saw the blue tape on the one ladder, you saw the red tape on the other ladder, and then you saw no tape on a different ladder. So that's one thought. Keep that in mind. They had the ladders marked for what they were made to do. The other idea there is stop spray painting them all the same color, buy different color ladders, and have them prepped for what you need. That way, nobody really thinks about what they are or what they're doing. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, they had all black ladders, or occasionally you saw different colored ladders. There's that to keep in mind. They could do that. You got orange, yellow, green, blue, black, red. You got a ton of different colored ladders out there. You don't have to buy all that. Now, if you have a contract in the deal and all this other shit, yeah. Okay, I get it. So there's that to keep in mind. Then the next thing you can do is say, well, I didn't care for all the spots. The part where they were beating the hell out of what's that big tall goofball's name? The fucking goober. Von Wagner. They were aiming to nail him with the chair or the ladder, and there was two of them doing it together. And every time they would do it, it would go right here beside him. Every time it was like this, over and over and over again. I'm like, I get that you're not trying to hurt somebody, but damn, you at least got to hit him, right? Hell, put it in his chest, put it in his shoulder. The guy's huge. You're not going to kill him. The actual ladder snap spot was cool. Wesley climbing up the one on the outside. I kind of figured that's the direction it was going the way I saw it set up. And then when he got chucked over, I'm like, yep, that's coming. And I'm sitting there watching it with my daughter, and she's like, Dad, how do you know what's going to happen? I'm like, you can just kind of see it. We can just see most of this stuff coming because we've been around it forever. We've been around this. Or I was still hopeful that Wes would win. I'm down with Wes winning. He definitely earned that strap. But overall, man, it was a good match. Like I say, I'm still waiting on my guest. I hit him up earlier. I said, hey, man, I'll send you the invite right before 4. And I sent it to him at 3:59. So I kept my word. So we're just waiting on him to get here. But we can go into a bunch of other stuff. I don't want to touch the Mandy Rose match anymore until he gets here. Just because we've been having discussions about Alba Fire, Mandy Rose, and things of that sort. I find it really rude to eat on air, but I may eat on air again today. I think it's fun. It's kind of funny to make people be like, oh, what are you doing? Fuck off. Who cares? Let's see here. The main event was pretty good. I really thought that they would have Braun drop the strap by not taking a loss. I thought that was the direction this was going. That's why it was a triple threat. You've had it now. You've got him this dominant. You're gonna have to have something serious make up for who's coming after him. Are you gonna go forward with what's the dude who fought Grayson Waller? What's that cat's name? Damn it. He's from right here in Georgia too. I can't think of it. Stone Mountain, Georgia is where he's from. I can see him. I can't think of his name. Yeah, that guy. He used to be on Raw and SmackDown and stuff. Unless they're going to move forward with him going after him, who else is credible that size, right? That's where you got to kind of let these things intersect. That ladder match, though, damn. There was a lot of crazy shit in there. Nathan Frazier was really impressive. I'm a Nathan Frazier guy. I really am. There was a bunch of people in that match who were just on fire. Dude, Carmelo is badass. Anybody who doesn't believe in Carmelo being money, they're wrong. Speaking of Melo as money, where the hell's Mella at? Where's Carmelo at? I haven't seen Carmelo in forever. She injured or something? Or just taking time off or what? More plastic surgery. That's what it is. Do you know that when she gets in the water, she increases the pollution level because of how much plastic she's got on her? It's crazy. Like she's a global pandemic when she gets in the water. It's nuts. But it is what it is. See here. Mandy Rose and Alba Fire was a fire match. Dude, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. Dude, them two girls beat the ever living shit out of each other. I wasn't sure how I liked the spot that came out of when they were on that elevated platform and came crashing down through the table. Not the biggest fan of how that went. Oh Christ, I'm finally joined by my guest. What's up, man?
I mean, I got 6 words for you. You got to spin the wheel to make the deal, baby. Halloween Havoc. What on earth was that? What a show. We had a casket match. We had stipulations that didn't mean anything. And Bron Breakker is still your NXT champion without a cash-in from Austin Theory. Not the best show they could have delivered, considering the circumstances.
Really? I thought it was pretty good.
It was good, but considering what they were teasing up for themselves, especially let's take the main event for example. Bron Breakker as NXT champion is a solid choice. I mean, he's showing that he is ready to really carry the company forward, especially in this Shawn Michaels era of NXT. But when you've got something like Austin Theory hanging over you, and there was a lot of genuine excitement, thinking, hang on a second, this could be the out clause for Theory's Money in the Bank contract, which doesn't involve Roman Reigns. This could make it interesting. I thought we would see some involvement, but it was a really good match against Dragunov and JD McDonough. But yeah, it could have been a bit more.
Well, so like I was saying, I can't figure out who they're going to build up to take on this guy, if that's the case. That's kind of my loss on it. Are you going to have him get attacked and then Austin cash in? Because, I mean, there's so many unknowns with it. I think that's what makes it interesting. I didn't go into at all the Alba Fire match other than the fact that Mandy's still the champ. I waited for you just for that.
I mean, we discussed it not on 24 hours ago. Before hours even. My brain has been moving like a complete steam train.
Thursday. That was well, it was Friday.
Friday.
Okay.
As Mandy Rose and how I think Alba Fire should really be given the new lease of life in the NXT Women's Division. But Mandy Rose is a safe pair of hands, and when you've got the credibility of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville popping in, and just think of the talent that she's got to work with, there's more to this, and even when you watch Roxanne Perez beat Cora Jade just in the same card in the weapons world, you just think, well, what are you giving us? What are you giving us that can say who's going to take her as champion? It's an interesting division.
The other trick of the trade is look at the size of the competitors now, Roxanne's small, Cora's small, Ivy's small, but she's built like a brick shit house. Dude, I think Ivy Niles is actually going to be like their next go-to for NXT. I really do. She's blonde, she's beautiful, and she's built. So she's like a fun-sized Charlotte. Okay, that's what she is. She's like a fun-sized Charlotte. For real.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
I mean, let's not try and delve too much into the Vince McMahon loves blonde women with big boobs and that the whole thing. But if they fit the description, then I guess you've got to see that. But you always have to pinch yourself with NXT with the women that have preceded her, Bianca Belair. You've got to look at Shotzi Blackheart. You've got to look at Sasha Banks, the 4 Horsewomen, and everyone that preceded that. What does the NXT Women's Division give us?
Exciting matches and your future.
Yeah, it's going to be it's interesting where they go. But also, the argument is we're 23rd of October. War Games Survivor Series is in a month's time. Does NXT get involved?
Does NXT get involved in War Games, or does NXT get involved at Survivor Series?
Well, does it get involved full stop?
I don't know, because the way they're doing it now, you've got competitors from everywhere going everywhere, and it's kind of cool. So it makes, for lack of a better term, have you ever been to an indie show where a random superstar will show up and they're not on the card or nothing like that? Yeah. I'm starting to get that vibe from NXT. You never know what's going to come out of it.
Yeah, this is true, and I think the interesting thing where the main roster is so much going on at the moment is that when you look at shows like Main Event, is that actually the people you're using there, how about you use them on NXT instead and give them more of the push? Yes, let's try not to use the word developmental, but supporting the stars of the future, so that Shelton Benjamin, for example, we spoke on Friday about the promo he did with R-Truth. Well, if Shelton Benjamin went down to NXT, gosh, you could see him take on Wesley for the North American title. That would be a match I'd love to see.
No, I want to see him and Braun Breaker. I think that'd be fun. Tell me R-Truth wouldn't be a credible threat to Braun Breaker. Or not R-Truth, Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, but somebody who's been in the business for well over 20 years, has he ever really been in the main event scene?
That doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is, look at their style of wrestling. Shelton's not as much of a powerhouse as Braun, but he's got that amateur background, that collegiate wrestler build, that athletic. He's an athlete. I think that's what I'm getting at, is athlete to athlete. That'd be great. The only other person I could think of, who's the cat that won the casket match? I can't think of his name.
It was Apollo Crews.
Yeah, Apollo Crews. That's him. I couldn't remember his name. Hey, what's up, Wes? We got one of the fans in here in the comments.
You look at Apollo Crews. I mean, 12 months ago, he was, the Nigerian, gimmick.
Prince.
He was the Nigerian Prince. He was with Commander Aziz. It was the Nigerian drum fight, and it was silly ads. And then you see Apollo Crews now; it's night and day. It's like, well, where have you been hiding for so long on the main roster, and now all of a sudden in NXT, you're way more entertaining to watch.
Right. I've noticed also, Tommaso Ciampa hasn't been seen. I haven't seen. I just thought of his name or brought it up a few minutes ago. Somebody else we haven't seen, and I'm like, man, they could come back and you'd see them on TV, and it'd be like, whoa, it's a whole new package.
Johnny Gargano, considering they've brought him back into the company, what are they actually doing with him on Raw at the moment?
He's had 2 or 3 matches. Nah, not Theory. I could care less about what they do with Theory right now. He's a hell of a hand, but there's so much going on in other places. The only thing I can say is this, and here's where shit gets simple. You're in Crown Jewel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you give Logan Paul a snowball's chance in hell of this?
we've seen madder things in WWE, especially in Saudi Arabia. We saw Goldberg beat Bray Wyatt for the Universal title in Saudi Arabia. We saw Goldberg try and kill The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. We've seen Shane McMahon become the best wrestler in the world in Saudi Arabia. We saw Shawn Michaels come out of retirement terribly in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
I mean, Canada is bizarro land, and bizarre things happening up north, but there's always got to be that 1% that thinks they just might,
So here's
and if they gave him the belt, we will be talking about it non-stop. And I think that sort of you need that water cooler moment. Maybe WWE needs that pop culture, social media culture water cooler moment of, did you see that guy Logan Paul just win the WWE Championship? And the viewership that could be drawn in, the attraction that would be drawn in. And bear in mind, he's got Logan Paul at the moment is a valuable man with Prime, and his work with KSI and Misfits Boxing and everything else that's going on with him. In the slightest chance that they did give him the win and the title,
okay,
people would be talking about it for months on end.
They would. However, do you want to know what I think is going to happen? Roman retains. After the match, Logan Paul is going to get him that one lucky shot. Theory runs out.
And Austin Theory wins?
Yep. And Theory takes the title. He just teased NXT, right? He just teased NXT. Other than that, he's been on a losing streak. He's just kind of reminding people, hey, I still got the briefcase. But, you don't know where that guy's going to go.
Could be. And do you know what it does? I think of all the little periods in time that could be the least offensive and least effective pockets where you could give Theory the title would be between November and January, for example.
Yeah.
Because then that way it frees Roman up for the War Games and Bloodline takes on. I mean, you'd be leaning towards Imperium or an amalgamation of team.
It'd be an amalgamation. It would be Kevin Owens and Drew and X, Y, Z, a tag team. Pick a tag team, any tag team. I don't care. The Street Profits. That'd be fun.
So, yeah, I'd buy it. It'd be, but again, he nearly cashed in Cardiff and then met the punch of Tyson Fury because that was the best moment of one of the best moments of the whole show.
Yeah.
That and of course the sing along right at the end. But yeah, and anything can happen. I wouldn't be against that.
Right. I think that's the direction it's going to go. Actually, I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be Theory cashing in then, because it's the only way logically to get the belt off of him. Then you get the return match at the Rumble. So now going into Mania, your champion is Roman, and he faces off against the winner of the Rumble, which will be whoever.
Dwayne.
Cody Rhodes, probably.
Dwayne.
Who?
Dwayne.
No.
I mean, did you not see the press junkets for Black Adam? Did you not see how he's flirted with him? Bringing him up, said, do you acknowledge the tribal chief? Yes, I do. Who's head of the table? Me. It's I mean, yes, it was E! News. Of all the credible wrestling journalism and in the entire universe, E! News will be the one that will really got the question of, yes, I am the tribal chief rather than Roman Reigns. But, it's November. We're coming into November. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next between now and Christmas, more information about Dwayne's availability come next spring comes to light, because I don't think there is much that he's working on And he might.
The XFL launch in 2023. That's a big deal for him.
Has that actually been confirmed?
Yeah, it's 2023, right after Super Bowl. It's like 2 weeks later or some shit.
18th of February.
Okay, so it's right there around the Super Bowl. I'm more interested in that than I am the fucking Super Bowl.
Well, you say that, but when the Giants come and win the whole thing, I mean, then you're not going to be talking about that because the Giants are just going to win the whole thing, right? Right?
Who? I don't watch football, bro.
The New York Giants.
I don't watch American football. I don't watch European football. I watch a little bit of tennis every now and then. I did watch some of Wimbledon while I was at work, especially. They had that on. Yeah, I watched some of that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's move on. Let's not get.
I'm a hockey fan. I like hockey. Hockey's fun.
Yeah, hockey doesn't exist over. Yeah, NXT. I mean, let's see what happens in terms of Crown Jewel. But I mean, I think I would have much rather have seen Austin Theory become NXT champion and then free up Bron Breakker and especially Dragunov to do something else, or maybe come back to the main roster and do something, because there is so much that's left to be done.
So let's talk about the cinematic match. What did you think of the cinematic portion of the NXT Women's Title match?
Different. And the thing is that during the pandemic, cinematic matches, of course, you've had the time to breathe and for it to be able to be done because there was no fans around, and we get that. But post-pandemic, again, you obviously you're not expecting it to see that often, but little and often is healthy. If we see one or two cinematic matches a year, then I think it certainly keeps the creativity and the uniqueness up. I enjoyed it. It was stupid, but I enjoyed it. But we also got a casket match on Halloween Havoc. And when was the last time you saw one of them in WWE? It's been a long time. So yeah, I wasn't against it.
Wasn't there one in Saudi Arabia a couple years ago?
I mean, yeah, it was Undertaker versus Rusev and Aiden English, wasn't it? But
probably. But here's the other thing. So I'm sitting there right on my living room, in the living room, on the couch, and my daughter's in here. And I see these three oddly dressed women walking into a haunted house. So I had to stop and I leaned forward and I'm watching my kid to make sure she's not looking. And I'm like, wait a minute, am I watching this or am I watching porn? What is this? I didn't know. I really felt like I was watching the beginning of a really awkward porno. So I was like, what the fuck? Then as it got to going, for bad acting and all. So it just fit. So
yeah. But it's Halloween Havoc. If you didn't have the spookums ridiculous bollocks of it all, then it wouldn't really be Halloween as such, would it? I mean, yes, you had the weapons with a spin the wheel, make the deal, and everything else, but you gotta have a bit of stupidity, right?
Yeah. All right, for the non-British fans that are watching this currently, will you define the word bollocks?
The exact same definition as bullshit, right?
Okay.
Bollocks is just like complete meaningless ridiculousness crap.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll get you a dictionary definition.
I was going to say you can send me what would that call?
According to the Oxford English Dictionary, it has two definitions. One, the testicles. And 2, nonsense, rubbish, used to express contempt or disagreement or as an exclamation of annoyance.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, can you send me like a Brit Bonics book? A great Brit Bonics?
I can try. I'll have a look.
Yeah. You could write one. You could write one. Think of the money you'd make around the world by writing a British Bonics book.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said, I love CM. Look, Wesley said, I love CM's accent. Bloody rubbish.
I mean, somebody's got to appreciate the British accent. It's not, it's not like the British took over your land. Oh wait, we did. So we're just biding our time until we do it again, right?
Spaniards, but yeah, technically Italians. I mean, yeah, there's a lot to that. That's a history lesson for another day, another show.
That's a history lesson, and go watch Hamilton, right?
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, let's try and stick to wrestling. Yeah, I think I still I'm favorable to Ulbafire, and I think what she's bringing to the product is different and unique. So I think they should have given her the women's title. But yeah, I enjoyed the Spookums, and I think it's still a smart move to keep Mandy Rose as champion for now.
Well, if you look at your stars, or you look at your current champions on NXT, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your main champion in Braun Breaker and your primary women's champion in Mandy Rose look the part of a superstar.
Yeah.
Wesley, yeah. Pretty Deadly, they don't really look like superstars. And then neither does, in my opinion, and I'm a big fan of her name escapes me. They just changed their names too. Did they name one of them Katana? And yeah, so Katana and whatever. They don't have that same star power look as Braun Breaker and Mandy Rose do.
No.
But you look at them carrying gold, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks viable.
Yeah.
Whereas, and you look at Roman Reigns carrying a title, that looks viable.
He's the man.
Right. You look at Walter carrying the title, or Gunther. You look at him carrying the title. Yeah. You look at him carrying the title, it's believable as hell. Rollins, we haven't seen him with the IC title enough to tell. Lashley being your IC champion, viable.
Mm-hmm.
You see my point?
Yeah.
My point is,
I see what you mean, yeah.
They look like superstars. So I'm all about that. Rebecca Connors asked, any word on when NXT Europe will happen, and if they do, will they be included in Halloween Havoc?
So I think the reports this week were that BT Sport, of course, who were hosting NXT UK over in London, were having discussion with WWE as to where they're going to go with it in 2023. I wouldn't be surprised if they do keep it in London for Europe. I mean, obviously they could take it on a European tour. Certainly it'd be a smart move if they got WXW in Germany involved. And encourage that working partnership. But yeah, I think a lot is to still be decided. But I think letting the NXT roster go and not just hanging on to them for a couple of more months, yeah, you could have used them on main event. You could have been doing something with them. They still could have been ambassadors or even working in the UK Performance Center. But yeah, it remains to be seen what will happen of NXT Europe. But then, who's to say when NXT Europe does get up and running again, how much more credibility would it be given? Because when NXT UK was started, it was, they just carved the back of the UK tournament, and you had the UK Championship, and everything was going right, and it just fell off the cliff because they were delivering excellent matches after excellent match, and just no eyes were being put on the product.
I don't know, man. I enjoyed the hell out of it, especially when, by the time I got in here in TRWC, I was watching everything. I was watching NXT UK. I was watching it all. And I found that to be more entertaining than some of the matches we were seeing even on NXT when it was black and gold, because they were freaking brutal. they were beating the ever living shit out of each other. That British strong style is the thing, man.
A Kid, Walter versus Ilya Dragunov,
1 and 2.
Tyler Bate. Just they delivered consistently.
What was Tyler Bates' partner from Mustache Mountain? What was his name? 7.
Yes,
Trent 7. He is fucking great. I like that guy.
Yeah.
I understand he's getting up in age, but you know what? The dude could still go, and he'd be a hell of a trainer.
Yeah, he would be incredible. And yeah, I think even as the NXT Europe NXT UK was being wound up, I think they were having a feud against each other, which was was essentially cut short, really. So yeah, it's sad, but yeah, let's see what happens next. I think if they give NXT Europe the same love that NXT did with Shawn Michaels behind it, then I think there's a chance it could be better off than what we had to begin with.
Somebody said, let's see, I miss Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
I liked him better before he put the huge ass spooner on his fucking chest. I thought he had a different appeal to him as Gentleman Jack than when he came out with the huge chest tattoo. It was kind of like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Or schooner. Maybe that's the word, schooner. Yes.
Yeah, but then like, he had his thing going on. I mean, he was in the 2017 Royal Rumble. He put the umbrella and yeah, I mean, he had fun with it, but he just
he was a good worker though.
Go back 5 years and you could look at Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and look at what the British stars were bringing to, especially the ones who were coming out of the UK tournament that was in the January. And it's just unfortunate where they didn't pull through. And even though you look at Pete Dunne as Butch, and Pete Dunne, when he was working with the cruiserweight division, you think this guy is gonna dominate, but then you fed him to of all the arseholes, Enzo Amore, and you think, well, that didn't go anywhere, did it? And it was just, the cruiserweight division at the time was really picking up some steam, and they were putting it with Raw, and obviously that then you had 205 Live and everything. It just ran out of steam. So
Majestic chimed in, about to go to church, just popping in to say hi. Hey, Majestic. That's your standard show that you're normally on, right?
I mean, she is my tag team partner. I just, what can I say about the Majestic?
Yeah.
Other than she's the worst podcast host I've ever seen. That Peaches and Power Bombs, they've got nothing on us. Yeah, sorry, I could go here.
Yeah, no, they're not the worst. They're not the worst ones I've ever seen. I handled a lot of shit yesterday. I handled a lot of garbage last night.
Yeah, we could tell stories about different organizations we've been.
I think I was still on air by the time you got up this morning.
Yeah. And I got up late, so yeah, I can believe that.
Oh no, maybe not. I don't know. It was probably. How far ahead are you? What time is it there?
It's currently 9:30 in the evening.
9:30. That's 5 hours.
Yeah.
I was still on, 6, 7 o'clock this morning, your time.
Wow.
I came on last night at 11.
Damn.
I had some shit to take care of. Oh, don't worry. I'm fairly confident it's the eyes up in the corner is half of the people that are going to go runs out after them, so they can go fuck off anyway. I don't worry about it. If I paid attention to every fucking hater out there, do you know how much attention I'd have left for anything else? None.
Do you know what? I'll let you deal with it. I'm just gonna just take a step.
No, watch. Here's how I deal with it. There we go. Yeah. That's it. That's all I do. We're done. Anyway, so Halloween Havoc. What did you think of Creed versus Kemp?
like I said, it was good, and I think seeing a casket match back for the
That
first
was
time.
Apollo Crews. Creed versus
Creed.
Kemp was the ambulance
Oh.
match.
Do you know, I always get them mixed up. Yes. I don't know why. But yeah, I think considering you had the stipulation of that if Julius lost, British Creed would be out of NXT, and then Creed won anyway. Not if you put a stipulation in that X is gonna, loser leaves town sort of thing, then you know what to expect. You know somebody's going to be leaving. You know that obviously they're going to be called up or they're going to be doing something else or taking time out. And okay, fine, we get that. So to see that be defended and not be enacted as such, and that obviously British Creed still stays in the company, I guess it's different to what we're used to, but. Why put that stipulation in? It was still a good match as an ambulance match, but why the extra? Unless you're going to do something with it.
They had to do something, I guess, to sweeten the pot to make it more of a reason of why, besides just good old fashioned revenge. Standard revenge is a great, catalyst for anything, but in their case, it felt like they needed to add a little bit more stank on it.
Yeah. And the thing is with the Diamond Mine is that what does the Diamond Mine even represent at the moment? Because you're looking at a group that were really hot and they were really coming in with some, especially under
Malcolm Bivens.
Malcolm Bivens, and then Roderick Strong, who sort of gave birth to it. They're on to something hot, and then it just petered out a little bit. And the Diamond Mine could have been a lot more solid than it was. But hey, yeah, I digress. It was still a good match, and I think going forward, I think who's to say we might be seeing the Kemp brothers on the main roster next year. I think that they might be leaning towards being called up and doing something on the main roster.
Oh, the Creeds? Yeah. I don't know. Possibly. I couldn't see the Diamond Mine going as a faction. It's just one of those things where it's like, I see what you mean about the steam in the beginning, but in my book, the steam died when Roderick lost to Carmelo.
Yeah.
When they did the title unification, it seemed like that was the end of it.
I agree. I can see where you're at with that one, but I think like I said, when you had at that time when you had War Games, sort of, were they in War Games last year? My brain is not working right this evening.
Dude, my brain never works. My memory is about as long as your beard.
and I'm bracing myself for Movember next year, in a couple of weeks' time. I'm going to be screwed. They weren't involved with it with War Games last year. They beat it was Roderick Strong beating Joe Gacy for the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. God, that was feels so long. I'm looking at the card from War Games last year, and I'm telling you, it was Imperium beating O'Reilly and Wagner for the NXT tag titles. It was Cameron Grimes beating Duke Hudson. It was Roderick Strong beating Joe Gacy. And it was Bron Breakker, Grayson Waller, Tony D'Angelo, and Carmelo Hayes beating Johnny Gargano, LA Knight, Pete Dunne, and Tommaso Ciampa in War Games. That's how quickly NXT moves on. And
right.
Oh.
So the only reason Apollo Crews is still in the company, he is Triple H's boy. Triple H scouted him, and Triple H has his back. I know y'all heard that. I mean, yeah, I get that he believes in him. He picked up a 94 WF superstar Shawn Michaels for me. Hey, appreciate it, man. You hang on to it for me. Let's see here. Oh, he asked, do you have Halloween in the UK?
I mean, we do. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as big a thing in over here than it is in the US, especially Salem, Massachusetts is not Sheffield, but yeah, it's a thing. It's just a way to start to get the you get the okay. Well, I don't know whether these are a thing in the US. You get those boxes full of like the chocolates. You got your Milky Way, you got your Snickers, you got your Marses, you got all your candy in there. You look at me like you
Okay. A box. What box? You talking about the bag the kids go trick or treating with? Or are you talking about a box?
Stay, keep talking. Stay there. I'll show you what I mean.
Oh Jesus. I have no idea what he's talking about, but okay. I was just told to keep talking, so hi, keep talking. About that, keep talking. We're just gonna keep talking.
Right, I'm back. Right, we have things like these. This is called a celebrations tin, right?
Okay.
And this is a British Christmas institution. Like you got your turkey, you got your Christmas crackers, and all that. But these are you got your Snickers, you got your Mars, you got Twix, Maltesers. I'm telling you, the highest tier of British chocolate is right here, and between October and I'd say mid-January, these are the boxes to get because they get passed around by family and friends, and yeah, everybody has their favorite, and you can't go wrong. It's a simple crowd pleaser, right?
So instead of doing like trick or treating like they do here, they don't do anything like that.
Oh, I mean, the little kids do trick or treating. I mean, I've where I live, there isn't as much trick or treating, I guess, than in other places. But as I think I've always thought to myself that the older you get, the more Halloween becomes PVC and latex day, and you see the interesting costumes that that do tend to come up on social media, but yeah, it isn't as far a bigger deal as it is in the US, especially when you look at Black Friday as well. And obviously we don't have Thanksgiving over here.
Oh really, man?
Why would we have the turkey on a Thursday, bro? Why would we have turkey on a Thursday? It doesn't make sense.
I have no idea. So, but he was asking. He's like, so y'all go out collecting to get the most expensive candy bars? I'm not being sarcastic. He's really confused.
So you got trick or treating, but obviously when you go to the door, you open it. Obviously, kids pick what they want. But they're also used for Christmas. Do you see the line I'm coming from?
Yeah, like y'all just pass candy dishes around. Period.
Yeah.
In this time of year.
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, and I think Halloween's dying a death over here because of the fucking drugs and shit, like the fentanyl and shit. I mean, just being real. You got people being paranoid as hell about stuff. And look, I'm not going to go sniff the white powder that's randomly sitting in a bathroom somewhere. But at the same time, there's you got all these people everywhere, and shit. People are dropping dead from this shit over here.
Yeah,
the fentanyl is bad here.
Yeah,
but it is that's a whole nother ball game for a whole nother discussion. Here we go. Wrestling comment. The writers need to collaborate with the wrestlers and come up with better content and storylines. Hoping Triple H and others running WWE, it will evolve over time and improve. We've already started to see that.
Look, the reason they brought Bray Wyatt back wasn't just because it's nearly Halloween, right? I think Triple H is very conscious and very aware that in bringing him back into the fold, he will lead his own narrative. He'll be able to consult with the writers and be able to work with Triple H in producing content that is going to captivate and engage us. I mean, even look at the promos building up to Bray Wyatt. We had QR codes. We had the whole feed your head and White Rabbit and all the innovative methods of promoting something that we've never seen before. And that had everyone talking, had everyone believing in it. And even now, as Bray Wyatt came back, his first two promos we are eating out of his hands already, and that's
Right.
because he is being able to forge his own storyline. Because if he came back under Vince McMahon, it would be Bray Wyatt has come back against Bobby Lashley for no reason at all. They'll just throw him back in some random feud where there isn't any relevancy, and it will just peter out over time.
They'd have him wearing all white or something ludicrous.
Yeah, exactly. So I think between Triple H and of course Shawn Michaels, of course, on NXT, it's clearly heading in a new direction. And I think, as I said this, I said this a lot building up to the Clash of the Castle in Cardiff. A lot of that show was a Triple H show. It wasn't a Vince McMahon. Oh, they're British, then we're gonna have cups of tea and we're gonna be very royalty and majestic and all this. No, it was Drew McIntyre, a credible Drew McIntyre, taking on Roman Reigns in arguably the best match Roman Reigns and most believable moment for him to have dropped the title in a very, very, very long time. Much 100-fold more believable than he is against Logan Paul.
And
then we got a 5-star match between Sheamus and Gunther. And this
100%.
was Gunther that had changed his name and people thought it was stupid, but actually Gunther brought back Imperium. It made a lot more sense, and that's why it was a much more enjoyable show. Obviously, the booking was a bit off, but for the progress that had been made, I think he's come in since end of July. It's so much different to how the product was at the start of the year.
Right. It's a much better product. I think the camera cuts are still a little too many, but that's some of that Hollywood cinematic magic shit they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to give you the allure of the stabbing happened where you're looking at it from the back of the person being stabbed.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. And it's so the shit doesn't look so weak, because if you watch other products and you see the punch go right here, over and over again, it's like, I'm
trying to find out if Kevin Dunn's still employed by WWE.
What?
Is Kevin Dunn still in WWE?
Oh.
Yeah, he's still there. I think that's just Triple H working with Kevin Dunn. I think obviously it's well renowned, well joked about of McMahon and Dunn's relationship, in that he'd cut everything and throw about 100 cuts in about 10 seconds. But I think between Triple H's vision and what is being presented in front of the camera, I think obviously we're seeing a lot less than what we've been seeing earlier in the year. And I think going into obviously Survivor Series, War Games, and then the Rumble, and then WrestleMania, I think we're going to see a quality of product that it will be vastly different if you went back to compare it to the same show 12 months ago.
Oh, yeah. Now, they're also talking about bringing back King of the Ring. I'm all about that. Except, can we really have it tournament style instead of the bullshit that they've done already? I would prefer I want the tournament back. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it was more of a tournament. It was more of a tournament structure than having it as one episode of Monday Night Raw. It was more of a structure of, we're building to the show where we will have the finals at I can't remember where it was. It was Crown Jewel last year.
Well, I'm saying more like, I don't need it to be the 3 matches or 4 matches, and then 2 matches and then 1 match. I don't need 7 matches and then the rest of the card surrounding it. I don't need all that, because you've got to have 14 matches, because you got to do the men's and the women's.
Yeah.
But at least do the semis and the finals, which is giving us 6 there. Then you can filter in a world title match. You can filter in tag team title matches. You can filter in all this other shit. And that would be badass.
Yeah. I agree. But of course, again, a lot of the reports this week is that WWE are going to have a permanent pay-per-view in the UK. I mean, if anywhere's going to have a royalty pay-per-view, I think it might be us. It might be, it could be a nice London show.
Royal Rumble there?
They'll never give us the Royal Rumble. As much it would be astronomically amazing, I don't think they'll give us the Rumble.
Well, I was thinking royalty, Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it's late January in the UK. It's far more cold and miserable over here than it is in the US. So, yeah, I think a September, October. Yeah, I can buy that. But again, I would also not be surprised if that's kept for the Saudi Arabian shows, which they've still got another 5 or 6 years left to do.
Yeah, so, dude. Yeah, but the amount of money they get per those shows is ridiculous. Was it $50 million a piece?
Yeah,
$50 million a show,
and it's been well reported of the politics of every single year. Something goes wrong, or they're stuck on the ground, or the disagreements between the Saudi princes and WWE and what's being shown. But with all the negativity, there's also women's matches. There's progress. Excuse me.
Bless you.
There's for all the negativity, there has been good quality shows over there, and I think the last one was February, was it? Was it Elimination Chamber? Elimination Chamber it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that was a far better show than what we've been used to. So let's not be too completely dismissive of Saudi Arabia as just a glorified house show. When I
also hated the negative connotation that came with it. People being like, "Oh, it's sweet Saudi blood money number 7." Man, look, fucking show me any place, any body, any country, anything that's got that amount of money and ain't done some dirty shit.
Well,
go ahead.
We've got the Qatar FIFA World Cup, and that's as corrupt as anything. And the US are going to be playing England, so we could talk until we're blue in the face about corruption, and once we've opened that door, then we're starting to talk about Hulk Hogan's misdemeanors and Ric Flair's misdemeanors and Vince McMahon's misdemeanors and everything else. But I think for what it's worth and for what they are presenting as a product, they're not as bad as they used to be. And I think, yes, it's worth a lot of money. Yes, they've done a lot of bad things, but we can only talk about what we see as a product, and it's improved. It's a lot more genuine than what we've been used to, and I think Logan Paul is there for the spectacle. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar will be a good match. I'll try and see what other matches have been announced.
I think that's it.
Oh, a steel cage match. Drew McIntyre against Karrion Kross.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Which would be good.
I wonder if that's where we're going to get the next Sheamus versus Gunther.
Yeah. I could see that. And then OC against Judgment Day, which of course rules good old Carl Anderson out of going to Japan.
Well, oh well. It's a feeling it'll go away.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a solid card compared to what it's been before.
Right. We're gonna catch up on some comments here. We were speaking about fentanyl earlier. Wesley said fentanyl is the devil. It's what took my wife in 2017. She was 35. Yeah, man, that does suck. Kevin Nash's son died the other day. Drew is world champion material, definitely. Agreed.
I think he was championship material. I think with the way that they were pushing him over the summer was championship material, and they just didn't pull the trigger when they should have pulled the trigger. And now he's at a point where, because Roman has both belts, and he's not yet split the belts in two.
I don't want him to. I don't want him to split the belts. Look at where we are with the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title. Look at where we're at with those right now.
Yeah, but Drew McIntyre isn't going to go and interfere with Gunther and Sheamus and go for the IC title, especially at the momentum he was going at. He's limited. He's capped at what he can do.
Well, right, but I still like the idea of one world champion.
Yeah.
I know not everybody likes it, but I do. I think that's the way it should go. Wesley said, I want the original Survivor Series matches back for the whole card. We can't always get what we want. Yeah, that shit's hard to do now because of factions. There's not that many factions in WWE, thank God.
Well, even when they attempt that, it's ridiculousness. I mean, last year they had the Pizza Hut Battle Royal, and it was, what else did they have?
The Pizza Hut Battle Royal.
Well, it was the one that Omos won by just squashing everybody, and it was the Street Profits just throwing pizza around. Let me just
I don't remember that for some reason. I've got a terrible memory.
It was the Rock's 25th anniversary Battle Royal, sponsored by Pizza Hut. That's what it was.
That was where? That was at Survivor Series?
It was at Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
And then you had the women's match was Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Zelina Vega against Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natalya, and Toni Storm on the women's side. And then you had Rollins, Balor, Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley against Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, Xavier Woods, Happy Corbin, and Sheamus for the men's one. And the main event was Roman Reigns against Big E, which I remember being a very good match, actually.
Yeah, it was decent. Definitely was. I mean, dude, there's so much wrong with that. And then now you got Tony Storm as the champ somewhere else. And, not everybody mentioned still around. Jeff Hardy's in rehab for the 17th time, I think. Maybe. Or maybe he skipped it. Maybe he's in jail again. I don't know. He's somewhere. I don't know what happened with that court case. We never heard anything more about it. Kind of funny how that shit happens, right?
It's mad that how you just look at a product from 6 months ago, 12 months ago, how quickly things move on, and how things change, and especially an example of Tony Storm, leaving WWE to go into AEW, and you look at who else? What other names can I pull out of there?
Paige.
I mean, Paige, obviously, but Randy Orton, of course, being out on the sidelines.
Cody's sidelined.
Who else can Rick Boogs.
Yep, Boogs is out. Cody's out.
Yeah. It's mad.
Where the hell is Shinsuke? Where's Shinsuke Nakamura?
Shinsuke Nakamura was back on NXT this week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which, again, I think is another smart move. It's just a decision whether to keep him there or not, because, you look at where he was 5 years ago, and the absolute hype and excitement of him coming into the company. Yes, he dipped a little bit, won the Royal Rumble, and then sent AJ Styles to Dick Kick City. And then that was his thing for about a year and a bit, and then got lost in the mid card.
Yeah, that was nuts.
So yeah, things change a lot in WWE, but you look back on that and you think, well, that was Vince McMahon's WWE. Right. We're now in the Triple H WWE era, and I'm sure if we were to have a chat in 12 months' time. And have a conversation, I think things will be not necessarily a lot different, but a lot more familiar to what we're used to.
I've heard it's miserable in London all year round.
Oh, it's not that bad. We had 40 degrees over the summer. It felt like Florida for about 2 days, and we nearly
40
died.
degrees
Celsius.
Oh, what's that equal to in America numbers?
That is 104.
Oh Jesus, yeah, 104 is high. Like I said, what's that in freedom math? I'm sorry.
The math.
Let's see here. I think Mustafa Ali's been misused for like 5 years. Random thought. I'm not gonna say 5 years.
Yeah, they had him on the button with the whole SmackDown hacker and with retribution, and like they had it and they bottled it. They just went, we'll just sack it off on a pre-show to the show before WrestleMania. Well, nobody cares about Mason T-Bar, right? We'll just put him with LA Knight and just pretend it never happened.
I really want to see. I think we're getting T-Bar back too, but I think he's coming back as Dominic Dijakovic because
Yes.
that image we saw the other day was the T-Bar mask burning.
Yeah,
Dude, that's another guy I love to watch. And then as far as what the hell is the dude who plays Mace? What is his or Massey or Massey or whatever? What's that dude's name? Madden.
yeah.
Isn't it Madden? Something Madden? Yeah, that dude's fantastic. I really thought he did really well. So I'm like, I'd be down with watching this cat.
Dio Madden.
Yeah, Dio Madden, that's him. Randy Orton should be coming back pretty soon, and Cody. Yeah, they should both be back right around the Rumble.
Hmm.
I don't understand why they canceled day one in Atlanta.
It's
Maybe Cody's not going to be ready, and Atlanta being his hometown, and he'd be the draw for it. Maybe that's why they scrapped it. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I've heard several arguments again this week about why they scrapped it. I mean, obviously it's Christmas and New Year. You want to be spending time with family and friends. I get that. You don't really want to be working hungover on New Year's Day. But I think Triple H is being smart. Again, let me just call up the graphic for the vision of the pay-per-view schedule next year. It was, if I can find it.
If you send it to me in Messenger, I'll pull it up, and we'll
I'm
go over.
trying to find the report that showed what the rumors were.
Yeah.
Where can I find it? Because I know it was only like 9 or 10 shows rather than 13 or 14.
35.7. Yeah.
0.7 and a 2-night WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
Where is it?
EC3's with Control Your Narrative, bro. He
Yeah, exactly.
And look, I know some guys that work for CYN, so yeah, like yeah, it's right there. It's not far. I could be there in an hour. So I guess he's doing his thing. I don't know what's up, but I know he's getting pretty busy. So I don't expect to ever see him back in WWE.
I think the thing about EC3, Ethan Carter III, as to give him his name, was that he was always walking into the company, especially as EC3. When you go, well, hang on, EC3 stands for Ethan Carter III. He was
Dixie Carter's nephew or something.
That was the whole shtick. I mean, if they gave him a complete name change, then we'd be talking about a different guy. But he was still going to be bugged, and the way that they presented him, it was like he could have been a jobber in the Ruthless Aggression era. He just didn't have anything to bring to the table. He didn't. I can't even tell you of a decent match he even had in the short time that he had that he was there. Yeah, he just didn't bring anything to the table, and I think, yeah, even now, it's he's doing his own thing with Control Your Narrative, and obviously not having Adam Scher there. Where that goes from there, it remains to be seen.
There was a lot of people lost on that. Now, I am going to say that I don't believe Adam Scher signed a very long deal with WWE. I really don't.
Interesting.
Just a thought. And I don't know Adam. I don't know him. I've never met him, never talked to him. Well, I can't say whether or not I've talked to him. I don't know. I don't remember. But
that's an interesting choice of words. I can't say whether I know him or not. That's a very interesting sentence you said there.
Well, I can't say whether or not I've talked to him. I don't remember.
Okay, right.
I can't. I've never met him in person physically. I can go that far. That I know. That part I know. Because I honestly do believe that I would want to see how easily he could lift me up, just because. Like, here, man, just pick me up by my head or something. And hey, get the camera ready. I want that that would be a fucking advertisement forever.
Yeah,
that'd be great. But like I said, I don't know if I've ever seen the fucking guy or I've ever talked to the guy. I can't remember. But I do know that there's some stuff with EC3 going on, even here in the Carolinas. They're involved in a lot of the indie shit running here. AML and so there was this one thing with PWX, but I think PWX is involved with New Japan, whatever fucking New Japan league that is over here. But I don't know I can't remember which New Japan that is, but it's New Japan Strong or something. Yeah, New Japan Strong right here. That's here in Charlotte area. They're involved. PWX is involved with them, and then you've got the remnants of Evolve still floating. There's a lot of stuff out there. But yeah, I didn't find the graphic either. I was hoping to see. That's 2017, so that's definitely not it.
I'm frantically scrolling through Twitter because I know I retweeted it during the week somewhere. It's just a shame that because I tweet so much crap.
Oh Jesus!
I'll tell you how much crap. I've just passed a Bret Hart Valentine's Day card that reads: "Roses are red, violets are blue. Unlike Bill Goldberg, I really like you."
I'm trying to think. I saw it on Facebook too. Here's some photos. I don't know. That's the 2022 schedule, and that's only got 9 on it. Yeah, I could have swore I just saw this damn thing too.
Yeah, it's driving me mad too. Like, you think it'd be a lot more widely available than it is. I'm just getting images for WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble, and yeah.
But they've already announced 2024.
Again, the point stands in terms of, they are condensing their pay-per-views down so that you got the Royal Rumble in January, you've got WrestleMania, you've got the Saudi show, you've got SummerSlam and Survivor Series, and then only a handful of shows in between, and cutting down on gimmick shows and B shows so that every, a Hell in a Cell match will mean something rather than just it's October, so we've got to have a Hell in a Cell match. Or
yes,
February, so we've got to have an Elimination Chamber match. It's got to mean something. And I would very much buy a show where, say they did have an Elimination Chamber match at the Royal Rumble, and you had Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross and everything, all of them involved in it. I think that would be just mad. Hang on, but bear with me a second. Let me go grab my laptop charger.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I'm not seeing shit for the layout either, and it's kind of irritating. The next thing I'm seeing, well, Heat Wave we already had. We are now at Crown Jewel, which is November 5th. Then November 26th, we've got Survivor Series. Day one is canceled, which is fine. 2 pay-per-views or PLEs in the same month is kind of crazy. That's a lot to ask. You got the Royal Rumble on the 28th of January, and then you've got WrestleMania 39 in April. See, day one I would have actually considered going to as well, because where it's it's going to be Atlanta. Atlanta's only like 3 hours from here. I can deal with that. I'm damn sure not going to WrestleMania 40, because fuck going to Pennsylvania.
Right, we're back.
All right, that place is nasty.
You said about WrestleMania.
Uh-oh. He broke something. He broke it. I didn't do it. I swear. I didn't do it. I had my phone in my hand, not the mouse. So that's all Walsh right there. Hopefully he'll be back momentarily. He may have to go out and come back. Shit. Just send him a message just so he knows. Oh, wait. I got a different icon. Hey! Oh my God, he fixed it.
I fixed it. You're saying about WrestleMania 40 being in good old Philly.
Yeah. Nope, not going near it.
Yeah, but what that show's going to be, we know if Paul Heyman is not inducted in the Hall of Fame that weekend, he'll never be inducted in the Hall of Fame, and he's got to be the headline act to be going in the Hall of Fame that weekend. Who knows is going to be inducting him, because it certainly won't be Tommy Dreamer.
Why?
He's still got baggage from Plane Ride from Hell, right? From the whole Dark Side of the Ring. I don't think he's been doing much since the whole allegations were thrown against him, and he was kicked out of Impact Wrestling, wasn't he?
No, he's still there.
Oh, was he?
Oh. I think so. What allegations came up against him?
So it was the way that I think the reports were Impact Wrestling.
Oh, the way they cut and edited what he said. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that let me do some more Googling. Tommy Dreamer.
They edited what he said.
Yeah.
So as far as Control Your Narrative went, what? Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
He's still part of Impact. Yeah.
Yeah. Wesley said the only thing I've heard is they're pretty. He meant to say shady, but he said shitty company, and Facebook bleeped him for some reason. EC3 is kind of like Brian Cage, but Cage is better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. Peacock doesn't provide WWE Network across the pond. No, they still have WWE Network, right?
They have the WWE Network, and it's beautiful. I want to keep hold of it for as long as we can.
Yeah. I'm surprised Sky Sports isn't going to be the ones handling all of the WWE stuff over there.
But BT Sport are just as a credible sports company here in the UK. I mean, they carry the English Premier League. They do all the rugby, the cricket, the tennis. They do all the sports and the UFC. So it's just credible booking that they had the WWE as well. I think they've had it since the start of the new year. I was going to start 2020. I think they had it. And of course, they put Clash of the Castle on for free.
Oh wow!
So they show Raw, SmackDown, and NXT live every week. When ITV, who have AEW, shows Dynamite and Rampage on a less popular channel, 2 or 3 days delay.
Gotcha.
So, it's in an ideal world you'd have both of them live, but what can you do?
Yeah. Let's see here. Wesley also said, "Scissor me. Been up since 5. Me and the boy went to see my mom and go to church. I'm exhausted. Scissor me, daddy ass." uh, Wesley said, "Michael Bisping is the man."
He is
Yep.
indeed. And I'm trying to think who the other UFC guy was that was at Clash of the Castle. UK fighters. What's his name?
But he also said he's a Regal fan. Oh, Dan Hardy was awesome.
Mm.
I'm a big believer in William Regal as well. What I kind of want to see happen is Regal come back to the E. They take Regal and they take Nigel and they go do NXT Europe that way.
That would be the smart way to do it. But you try stopping William Regal with Blackpool Combat Club. Try stopping him because he's so hot on commentary with Excalibur, and you know that promo battle with MJF this week. Everyone was talking, unfortunately, about Alan Page's injury, but if they weren't, if we could turn back time and that injury didn't happen, would you still be talking about that MJF William Regal promo?
Yeah, maybe
it was exceptional.
It's one of those things. What the fuck is this? We got an image of wrestling socks. NWO, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Mankind, The Rock, Rock and Austin, Rock and Hogan, Triple H and Cena. That's fucking weird. The perfect gift of Thomas Scott. This is a promoter in the region. He said, "What's up, guys? How you doing, sir?" But the NXT show, man. I mean, I really did think it was pretty fun. It was entertaining and it was different because you haven't seen shit like that in quite a long time. Yeah. We haven't been seeing gimmick matches like that. We haven't definitely seen a pay-per-view loaded with gimmick matches.
Yeah. I entirely agree, and I think to keep it for shows like Halloween Havoc on NXT, in the same way that NXT held on for War Games for so many years, and it remained an NXT thing for 4 or 5 years. I don't remember how long they've had it for. It's so smart and unique, so that it made the brands unique and individual, rather than just we'll give them a Money in the Bank match too. We'll throw in an NXT Elimination Chamber. Like it was his own individual product.
Right. Now, would you want to see something a little bit different, like the cage matches more often, or the gimmick matches more often there, or just leave it kind of as one night we go crazy with the gimmicks, or would you rather see them spread out?
Bit of both. I mean, I wouldn't be against like Stand and Deliver. I think is the main NXT WrestleMania. Let's call it effectively. Or unless they decide to rename it next year or whatever they do with it. I mean, I personally bring back takeovers, but have Stand and Deliver, or the main NXT shows have a ladder match in there, have an ultimate submission match in there. You know, throw in something that is going to give something for not only for the casual viewer to engage with, but also people who are following NXT every week, something to build up to. And I think throughout the year, you know, build up to a cage match, build up to spin the wheel, make the deal, build up to things like that. Even in your house, you know, events like that where you know that as again a casual and a hardcore viewer is something that's going to bring people to the product. And
do you remember in your house when they actually gave away a fucking house?
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy, right? Think about that now.
But that was the 90s. That was you know, Doc Hendricks. That was why is his name escaping me?
Michael Hayes.
No, the other one that was associated in your house that came back.
Cornette,
No.
Harvey Whippleman.
No.
Wasn't Gorilla.
Name's gonna come to me. Todd Pettengill.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
his name. Good old Todd Pettengill. Yeah, it was Todd Pettengill, and they'll give it what pay-per-view was I watching the other day? SummerSlam 1997, Heart and Soul. They gave away, tried to give away $1 million. Obviously, they didn't. But that was the competition, or you had $1 Million Mania in the late 2000s, and all part of the Vince McMahon era of WWF that you'll never see again, really.
Yeah, I mean, the trick of the trade is, how much of that was TV and how much of that was real.
Yeah, exactly.
They really give away a house, or was that bullshit? Did they really give away $1 million, or was it bullshit?
Exactly.
I don't know. Can you imagine having to pay taxes on that? like, gee, thanks for the gift. Can you take the taxes out of it? Fuck.
Oh my God! I've got a $200,000 house. Oh my God! Oh God! I still got to pay energy bills. Oh no! This has still got bad investment.
Oh, not the energy. The energy bills is no big deal, but coming up with the taxes on that,
yeah,
right off kilt, man. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah. Especially some of the taxes over here. I'm sure you guys have corporation tax. We pay like if you have to gift something to somebody, you have to pay for something like 40 or 45% in tax. So if I was to give you $10, I would have to pay something like you'd probably receive $4 something because the rest of it would go in tax.
No, see, it's different here. Like you can give certain amount of money to certain people, and it's tax free. Yeah, it's written up as a gift and shit. So you just got to know how to play the system.
Exactly.
Well, all right. So, prime example. This is part of an LLC.
Yeah.
Well, some of this is. So here's my handy dandy stack. Look at the receipts here. That's all business write-offs right there. So this is a business, right? So I'm doing that to try to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I'm not trying to blow all my plus Jesus Christ, the credit card receipts. For the monthly subscriptions for all this crap that we do.
Yeah.
People just think, oh, you just push a button and go on air. It's free.
Yeah.
No, fucko, we don't. This shit ain't free.
Yeah.
But we do it because we love it. It ain't about the money. But if I can get some of that back because it's a business, all right then.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, what else do we have to talk about from the NXT shot?
I think we've covered everything.
I think we've beaten a dead horse.
Yeah.
Well, I beat a dead horse yesterday, but stomped it to the point it was ground beef when I was done. So let's see here. Monday Night Raw didn't have much to do. They're just kind of chilling. To me, it looks like they're starting to coast into the next show, so they can start the build for the show after.
Look, they're giving us Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, and that's when we've been used to Brock Lesnar just going straight to the main event, to actually doing something non-title related is something that I'm always going to be on board for, especially with the cross-brand work that the Bloodline is doing with Sami Zayn and the Usos. JBL is back, for crying out loud, with Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
It's different and it's exciting, and I can see what you mean in terms of coasting, but actually, there are, I think, the work that Triple H is doing in not only reversing gimmicks in terms of giving people their old names back and getting rid of some of the damage that Vince McMahon left behind, is just brilliant.
Yeah. When I say coasting, I don't mean like they're they're just letting everything kind of go and see how it pans out. I mean they're more not they're not pushing any extra new agendas right now. They're kind of letting everything build towards instead of like the random shit like Vince was doing.
Yeah.
So that covers Raw. Wednesday night, obviously, everybody's still talking about Hangman. I haven't heard anything lately other than he's just kind of chilling.
Mm.
And that was all that was important about Wednesday. In the end of it, that's pretty much everybody cared about.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a rat's ass about anything else. And I try to watch. I do sit there, but I find myself. Give her a kiss for me too. Oh, it's okay. I saw that.
You rat bastard. Yeah, I think. I mean, everyone's talking between the promo and Adam Page on AEW, is what people are talking about. But it's the modern way of wrestling companies. I mean, in WWE, go back to the Ruthless Aggression era, and every week they're cramming so much into every 2 hours that they had, and 9 times out of 10, and especially in the last few years under Vince McMahon, nothing would make too much sense. Whereas now that they're given a lot more time to breathe with fewer pay-per-views, with storylines that make more logical sense, with the way that they are bringing people back and stuff like that, makes logical sense to the overall flow of the company, rather than we'll just throw this person in for the sake of it. Everything seems more streamlined. Everything makes more sense. Everything makes for a better product, and therefore, yeah. What else can you say really, other than everybody wins as a wrestling fan?
Right. Now, when you're looking at things like Impact, are you watching any Impact?
I'm aware of Impact. I mean, we just had Bound for Glory come and go, and obviously, Impact Wrestling is its own thing, because they gave was it Shoot Your Shot Battle Royal to, of all people, Bubba Ray Dudley, for no reason at all. I'm not sure what he's doing at the moment, but seeing somebody like him just go back into it for whatever reason is bizarre. And obviously Matt Cardona's doing great work over there. Josh Alexander is still champion. Yeah, that's what they're doing, I guess.
Give me another name that could elevate that place further. What are they going to do? Hire CM Punk?
If we're sat here in 6 months talking about CM Punk in Impact Wrestling, I wouldn't be surprised.
They don't have enough money.
But Impact Wrestling could take on anyone. And actually, you look at who they've got and who they work. I mean, Mickie James, for example, as the veteran that she is, that continuing the work that she's doing with Mia Yim over an Impact is amazing. Kazarian's still over there. I know in a dark match they had Bullet Club with Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Juice Robinson. So they're still going steady, and I think they may not be getting as many viewers and many eyes on the product as the other competitors are, i.e. WWE and AEW. But as wrestling fans, we look at the wrestling landscape, and I think when you do have moments like Bully Ray just winning this Shoot Your Shot Battle Royal, it certainly pricks our ears and goes, "Hang on a second, what? Well, that's something we weren't expecting."
Right.
And we have to be here for it, really.
That's kind of my thing. I'm more interested as into why they're doing that because I think they're doing it because it's going to bring more eyes and more
Mm,
attention.
mm.
I like Bully Ray. I always have. I liked him in ECW. I liked him in WWF, WWE. Uh, and he was all right in TNA. That wasn't.
He had aces and eights, for crying out loud. He was the president of Aces and Eights, and he was 2-time world champion. And then he married Hulk Hogan's daughter. Um, that was
in real life. Didn't he marry what's that girl's name? Shit. Okay, she was part of the beautiful people. Help me out.
I'm frantically checking Wikipedia to help you out, my friend.
Oh, I can
Velvet
see
Sky.
her, but yeah, Velvet Sky. He married her, didn't he?
Yeah.
Now that's over with. But I mean, then he's been kind of doing the indie thing a little bit here and there, doing the NWA thing a little bit here and there, and now he's back at Impact. So realistically, I would rather see NWA on TV every week than I would Impact currently.
Mm.
I like the NWA product.
Yeah.
And that's for real. You got guys like Colby Carino, son of Steve Carino, and
Yeah.
Colby's badass. Colby's good people. I've hung out with him, talked to him. He's good people. Did he battle his demons? Hell yeah, he kicked him right in the teeth too, and he's still going strong. It's I think that's the, as far as if you want to talk real wrestling, I think NWA's got it in the bag.
Yeah.
Bell to bell, NWA's got it in the bag. But as far as entertainment wise, WWE's got it. Storyline wise, Impact is up there. Impact reminds me so much of the old school ECW now, and I dig it. But look who's there. Tommy's there, and Taz was there, and Bully's there. I feel like Impact gets a bad deal because of the piss poor channel they're on.
Yeah.
That's definite.
I agree.
Time to time, show versus show. I think that Impact Wrestling has more bell to bell quality than AEW does. Even. It's odd to watch it because it does feel kind of like an outlaw mud show at times.
Yeah.
But man, the NWA is the little engine that could to me right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he was their champion for a good while.
Nick Aldis.
Nick Aldis. The way that he had to go, so he picked it up after. You're gonna have to help me out here. The way he picked it up after Cody.
Yeah, he picked it up from Cody.
To have gone from, yes, we had All In, and this, the main event was the NWA Championship. Nick Aldis, you do what you can do. Like, it was always going to be a tall order, and the way that it's, yes, NWA Power took a step back during the pandemic, and then the whole Jim Cornette controversy and Trevor Murdoch and.
Well, Jim Cornette. You mean the not Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette wasn't in there, was he?
Jim Cornette was the commentator on NWA Power for a couple of weeks, and then
he made that stupid ass comment, and then there was the sexual assault allegation thing that came up against
that was the speaking out move.
Yeah, the Me Too movement thing. It wasn't Corrigan. It was his second in command, whoever that was.
It was the wrestler as well, and I can't think of his name for the life of me.
Yeah. And I had conversations with that guy too. Another person I had been in communications with. Yeah. It's fun right where I'm at. No, not him. Well, he was one of them. He was another one, but it was it's gonna fucking kill me if I don't look it up. Hold on.
Dave Lagana.
Yep, that's him, Dave Lagana. I wanted to say La Greca at first, but I was like, yeah, it's definitely not La Greca. Oh, excuse me. He was on, and that was weird to see him on NXT.
Hmm.
Why did they go with him being on there? He's been like the big AEW proponent. When you listen to Busted Open Radio, if you do, which I try to, I enjoy their shit. They are predominantly pro AEW over there, and it at times it gets a bit much. I can only take so much of Herb Abrams. Oh, I mean Tony Khan. At a time. I am not fucking wrong either. I am not wrong.
Yeah.
I can only handle him so much.
Hmm.
He, as I said the other day, he's a mark, and that's what it boils down. He's a mark. So, but he's not a good mark. He's a bad mark. There's different levels of mark. We're marks, but we do the right thing. He does the booger sugar thing, and that doesn't help.
Yeah.
That's what we called cocaine in in the city slums here was booger sugar. But
yeah, I do think with the way that Ring of Honor is being pushed by AEW, the NWA is falling by the wayside, and if it had more of an international presence in terms of being able to secure a deal in the UK or be able to, stretch out and sort of not necessarily go on a Glory Days tour, but just recapture what the NWA used to stand for as the momentum that was building going into all in, and the £10 of gold and the prestige that belt was really building is such a shame, and I think without Nick Aldis there, it's dare I say it, forgettable.
Well, I saw Nick Aldis go up against Thomas Latimer in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And it was badass.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a picture of me with Thomas Latimer. I don't think do I still have that here? No, I don't. Hold on. I'll show you that picture. It's way the fuck back here in my memories of shit. Where the hell? I got no idea where this damn picture went. Oh well. I've got a ton of pictures and shit from all these events. Oh, it's one of these. Let's see here. I'll be able to tell which one was Thomas Latimer. That's not it. That's Barry Horowitz. There he is. There's Thomas Latimer. I told you I was in a picture with Thomas Latimer. That's it. Look, Barry Horowitz choking me out and shit.
Nice.
Tori Wilson. Yeah, man, fucking crazy. And look, I don't understand it. He took a selfie with my phone. It's
nice.
Weird. I have an iPhone, so it's got to do facial recognition. I didn't know I looked that much like a mouse. Or that rat bastard got my code. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so I saw them.
Yeah, we digress, and I think in another time Nick Aldis would be a star in the mainstream. But again, the minute you start talking about Nick Aldis, the minute you start talking about Will Ospreay, and as two British wrestling, I don't want to say icons, but certainly standouts across the world in independent wrestling, you won't go too wrong with Nick Aldis and Will Ospreay flying the Union Jack for not only British strong style, but also what British wrestling represents.
Right. Either way, I'd like to see more come of it. I was more hoping that somebody else would acquire Ring of Honor.
Hmm.
And I was hoping that a TV deal came with it when they got it because Sinclair could have sweetened the pot, but they didn't. I mean, Sinclair let it go for next to nothing. But you know, they weren't into it. They were not into it at all. That was the big issue. If you're not behind your product, you're not going to make anything out of it.
Exactly.
That's why I feel kind of bad about Impact and their current state because it's the same thing. The company that owns them, Anthem, doesn't really give two shits about it.
Yeah.
You would see. I want to say that if somebody like, what would make sense is like the UFC buying the NWA.
Yeah.
That would make sense because Dan Severn ties in both. Ken Shamrock ties in both. All that. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's money, there's legacy, there's history, there's heritage, there's everything there.
Yeah.
And the UFC is a big thing. I don't know what sports channel they're on. What are they, BT Sports over there, you said?
Yeah, they're over BT Sport, yeah.
So who carries Bellator? Or is Bellator even still an MMA thing?
Still at MMA, isn't it?
Is it still a thing, though? I don't know if it's still around.
I think so.
I don't follow it that closely anymore.
Hmm.
I used to, other than watching like McGregor or something on the UFC, Bellator was my go-to because they were hungry. They fought like they gave, like they wanted it. In my book, it was the fights were way sloppier and the star power was way lower, but the fights were better. They were gritty. They were fights. That was my thing. But you got anything else you want to add or talk about, or are you good?
No,
You're trying to get out of here.
I have a wife to attend to, and we've been talking for well over an hour and a half. There's only so much I can work before I start to lose steam in the tank. I think the next week and a half, certainly as we go into, we start to build towards Full Gear. I know is around the corner for AEW, and then we start to build towards Crown Jewel and then Survivor Series. I think will be a true test of where both AEW and WWE are at the moment. Certainly, Roman against Logan Paul will continue to be discussed before and after the fact. Whoever wins, I think AEW have some decisions to make as to where they go for Full Gear, and obviously they put the main event between Jon Moxley and MJF, cashing in his chip. Whether they decide to put the belt on him, but obviously Tony Khan in himself needs to make decisions about how to handle a pay-per-view without a controversy being created afterwards. And
can we stop the press releases on them then? Can we just stop that the after show press thing for them, because it's just.
I mean, if only he knew that beforehand, then he would be able to cancel it. But look, I think the product this week is going to tell us a lot about what to expect in November.
All right, that sounds good. All right, brother. Well, hey, look, I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate you coming on. You are welcome anytime you want to. So.
Damn right. I am what's known in the business as a wrestling journeyman. I'll be on Buckle Bomb. I'll be on TRWC. I'll be on any podcast I damn need, because I am C.M. Walsh. Boom!
Jesus Christ. I think it was better when you did it at the Round Table Rumble. You had that elegant entrance there. That was funny as hell. Oh, Jesus Christ. Not the Gold Dust thing.
Boom! That way.
Oh, you're gonna do.
You want me to go full AFW and talk? God, I'm lifting kayfabe right now. You want me to talk about other organizations here? You really want me to put them over on this platform? Well, I'm not gonna do that because they are a bunch of trash. They're a bunch of low-life jabronis. I'm not gonna do this to the TRWC, man.
Yeah, there you go. All right, bro. I appreciate you being here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in to the Wrestling Wire. Once again, your host, The Saint, my guest today, CM Walsh. It's been real. It's been fun. Hell, it's been real fun. We'll catch you next time. Thus proclaimed.